Episode 1. In the beginning, we see an alien girl named Lala Sadalin from planet Deviluk, who seems to escape from the soldiers in space to avoid the daily arranged marriage candidates interviews set up by her father. She ultimately runs to the Earth to get rid of these soldiers. Then the scene shifts to a school where a boy named Rito Yuki stares at a girl named Haruna Serenji. And we come to know that this girl was Rito's crush, and he has tried many times to tell her about his love but has failed to do that because of some weird situation. Afterwards, Rito is shown in his bathtub. Meanwhile, the mysterious alien girl Lala teleports naked to his bathtub and Rito accidentally grabs her breast. Rito shouts in confusion, so his sister Mikan comes to check. He claims that he has seen a naked girl in his bathtub, but there is nothing to see. Then his sister tells him that she realizes that he is in his teens, but he should be able to differentiate between reality and sweet dreams. After that, he goes to his room and finds the same girl wearing his towel, so he gets stunned. Afterwards, the girl tells him that she is an alien, but he doesn't believe, so she shows his tail. Moreover, he reveals that she escaped from her home planet Deviluk by his invention, which makes him believe her. Meanwhile, her robot named Peak appears and turns into her dress. After that, two men come and catch Lala, but Rito runs away taking her. After all, a spaceship arrives and Zastin, her uncle, comes to take Lala back, obeying her father. Rito tries to save Lala, but all in vain. Then Lala uses her invention, which is a big sucking machine, to get rid of Zast and his guards, but the machine sucks Rito as well. After that, Lala apologizes to him that she doesn't know the proper use of her new invention. The next day, Rito, being injured by the incident, goes to school and walks near Haruna. Then Haruna calls him and he becomes so excited that she calls him. He decides to reveal his love, but Haruna tells him that she saw him running on the roofs yesterday. Meanwhile, he speaks loudly that he loves her from the first day he sees her, but Lala appears again in front of him and considers his words for herself. As Rito tried to save her from Uncle Zastin, she happily agrees to marry Rito in front of Haruna. And he also comes to know that grabbing a girl's breast is equivalent to a marriage proposal on Lala planet Deviluk. But Rito, having feelings for Haruna, doesn't want to marry Lala. Episode 2. In the morning, Rito awakes for his school but finds Lala lying naked with him. He shouts, "What is she doing here?" So she tells that she liked to sleep with him. Hearing Rito's loud voice, his sister comes into the room and finds him sitting with a naked girl, so she leaves, saying sorry to disturb, but he is getting late from his school. So he cries that she is caught in a big misunderstanding. Then Lala orders her robot Peak to get into her dress form. Then Rito inquires about her arrival further, and she reveals that they are now engaged to each other, and engaged couples usually sleep on one bed. He denies that, which makes Lala worry that he doesn't like to live with her. But he calms her by saying that he didn't mean that, so she seems happy again. After that, he asks who decided that they are engaged. Then suddenly Zastin arrives from the window and says, "Let me explain it." He apologizes for his prior behavior with Rito and says that he would never mean to hurt Lala's future fiancé. Moreover, he reveals that Rito has followed the traditional method of Deviluk to marry a girl and become engaged to Lala. Then he reveals that when you touched Lala's breast, you were approved for an official engagement ceremony by Deviluk. But Rito denies all. As a result, Zastin warns him that if he denies the engagement, the Earth will be destroyed by their lord. The next day, Rito goes to school and tries to confess his love in front of Haruna, but Lala arrives there and asks the boys about Rito. He comes to Lala and asks why she is here. His friends, surprised by Lala's beauty, ask who she is. But before Rito could say anything, Lala says that she is Rito's bride. Hearing this, all of them get very angry with him and start chasing them. Then Lala teleports Rito and herself naked to a locker in school. And when they come out, they are seen naked by Haruna. Afterwards, they both go home and find Zastin having tea with Rito's sister. They all were looking happy with the marriage, but Rito asks Zastin to come with him. Then Rito hypothetically asks him if he could back out of his engagement and not face consequences. Zastin tells him that to cancel his engagement, he must feel up Lala's breasts again within the first 3 days. While he tries numerous times to touch Lala's breasts, he is unable to do so in time and is thus stuck with the engagement. The following day, a new transfer student is introduced to the class. Lala is brought into class just as Rito is thinking that school is the only place where he can breathe anymore, and all of Rito's hopes for a quiet school life are dashed. Episode 3. Lala tells Rito that she wants to attend his school, but he denies, saying that she can't manage that. Then she reveals that she had talked to the principal, and he allowed her to attend the school. Then he orders Lala to avoid causing any problems in the school, and also tells her not to do anything that would make her stand out, so the people will know that you are an alien. She agrees with it. And the next day in school, Lala does everything quickly and strangely, so Rito gets angry at her and says that I had told her not to do such things. So she promises to avoid it from now on. In the next scene, Haruna recalls the scene when she saw Rito with Lala. Meanwhile, she sees Rito coming. She calls him and is stressed. He replies angrily. But when he realizes that he is called by Haruna, he becomes so happy and says that he is completely free. So they talk a little about Lala. Meanwhile, Lala comes and asks Rito to go home together. Rito seems so stressed that his sister tells Lala that we should go somewhere for an outing so that Rito becomes calm. The next day, three of them go to a big city. But Lala seems strange to the people. So Rito orders her to change his costume. After she changes many outfits, Rito agrees on the last outfit. Afterwards, they all have so much fun playing different games. Rito also wins a toy for her, but suddenly her clothes start disappearing gradually, and it is due to Peak's low energy. So Rito runs and takes her to a clothes store and tells me to wear a decent outfit in the changing room. Meanwhile, he finds Haruana there as well, so they all sit in a cafe while they decide to go to the fish aquarium. Lala becomes so happy to see little fish. Rito apologizes to Haruna that they forced her to come with them. After that, Rito and Haruna remain alone and Rito decides to leave but is stopped by Haruna. On the other hand, Lala brings all the fishes out of the water. Seeing this, the owner shouts that the fishes will die. Then Lala makes the place flooded with her invention and creates a huge disturbance in the building and floats naked on water. Other hand, Haruna says that she wants to tell Rito something to Rito and reveals that he is kind and that Lala and he are the best matches. The next day, when Rito and Lala are going to school while talking to each other, Rito sees Haruna and runs towards her and accidentally falls on her and drops himself near her legs, so she becomes angry and slaps him. After that, she runs away. Episode 4. Rito sees a sweet dream in which he is talking to Haruna about their love, and instantly he awakes under Lala's body, who was again sleeping naked with him. Afterwards, they are seen having breakfast while Lala praises Rito as Sister Mikan for the delicious food. Meanwhile, Zaston arrives and says that Lala is a princess, and that on her home planet, we have poison testers for the foods. In the next scene, Rito and Lala go to school, and the students stare at them because Lala was the new student among them. Afterwards, Lala sees Haruna and goes with her, telling him that this morning they had very delicious food from Rito's sister. Then a girl asks Lala if she heard that she was born overseas and hence he likes eggs and rice. She tells them that she was born far away. Then the girl inquires about her tail. On the other hand, Rito seems upset standing on a balcony while Zaston appears there and asks about his tension. He tells him that by marrying Lala he will have to become the king of Deviluk one day, and the king has to capture territory during the interstellar wars, and he advises him to start combat practice now. But he seems scared and says that he is a mere earthling. At school, Rito thinks that he will be sent to the battlefield after marrying Lala. Meanwhile, his teacher wants him to come to the board and he gets confused about it. After that, Rito asks him why he is acting so weird these days. Meanwhile, Mikan offers them a delicious dish called sukiyaki. Zaston also appears to eat, and he also tries the rice, and he cries that he has never eaten such delicious food before. Then Lala asks them if they allow her to make something for them, so they agree. When Rito tastes the dish, he gets so angry that the dish is so tasteless, and he thinks that it's the only way to get rid of Lala. He says that if she can't cook tasty food, I will not marry her. Zaston tells that she is our princess, and she doesn't need to cook anything. But he says that he wants to eat the food made by the girl he loves. So she leaves. The next day in school, Lala was absent and suddenly comes into the classroom and takes Rito with her. She has brought a machine for cooking. Then Rito tells her to wear an apron for cooking. While she is cooking, a huge octopus comes out of the machine and captures all of them. After that, Zaston comes to rescue, but many other monsters come out of the cooking machine and they all seem unable to defeat them. Lala is also unable to use her powers to rescue all of them. The monsters destroy the building and Rito says that it is worse than an interstellar war.